Hi there. Welcome to my talk all about how to make time for creativity. I'm Najma Salam, and I call myself a marketing alchemist. What does that really mean? Well, it means that I love to help businesses make use of what they already have, their existing gifts, use some marketing magic, and turn it all into gold, or marketing goal, that is. I have over 15 years of marketing in various industries, from e commerce to travel, to nonprofit, tech, and gaming. I work as a consultant and I help small companies in tech and gaming with branding and product marketing and just all around marketing goodness. I am a multi-classing maven with design, writing, and production skills. I used to call myself a jack of all trades, but I think I prefer a multi-classing maven. So, all about how to make time for creativity. Let's get into it. Firstly, I want us all to sit in the knowledge, acknowledge that the world is noisy. Yes, it really is. I mean, let's think about our personal lives for a moment. We have our finances to talk about. We have family to think about, work commitments, our health, our friends, career building, which is often different to the work commitments bit. We have a lot to worry about. And when we transfer this thinking to people outside of ourselves, most importantly, the audiences we're sending marketing messages to, it gets even noisier, right? Because we're also trying to send marketing messages to our audiences. Uh oh. So, as marketers, we know that cutting through the noise is getting more and more difficult. It's harder than ever to make an impact on audiences. I mean, there are more marketing channels than ever to choose from. Let's think about just messaging our friends and family. Right now, I've got people I'm talking to on Discord, on Slack, Microsoft Teams, uh, email, SMS, LinkedIn, Instagram. I've got friends all over the place, and half the time I don't really know where the notifications are coming in from. So it's very noisy indeed. Then we have a savvy audience that's more critical of advertising. So when I was trained in mass communications and marketing, I didn't think I'd be contending with incredibly vocal people on social media, right? You have people who are making their opinions heard. And rightly so. Some things need to be critiqued, obviously. But that is just one more consideration for marketers whenever they're sending the marketing messages out. And then we have a constantly changing marketing landscape. Generative AI aside, and don't even get me started on OpenAI and Sora because that happened at this week at the time that I was recording this. There are constant regulatory changes, changes in viewpoints and feelings and best practices. And then here's us in the middle of it all as marketers feeling like we have to master it all. So, of course, there are challenges with finding time for creativity. It feels like busyness gets in the way. Oftentimes, it feels like we just need to get it done. I've jokingly called myself Team Get Stuff Done. Replace stuff with something a little ruder because you get in a habit, in the rhythm and the cadence of trying to get things out constantly, right? Getting your marketing out done all the time. And then with very few resources on your side, like me, where I'm often the only marketer in an organization, you have what I call minimum viable marketing, which is not bad, but it's not the best. It's just getting the job done. But sometimes a little messiness can occur. Little things can happen here or there, and then you can incur technical debt. You can incur little bits and pieces that just build up over time, right? And they all these things do is just weigh you down, getting you even more into the just get it done phase again. So it seems pretty clear to me that marketers need to prioritize creativity more than ever because creativity enables us to solve problems. And oops, this is actually a presentation about organization. Hashtag planning is sexy. Okay, it's kind of a joke, but kind of not. I put this slide in because I realized that when I was talking through my practical tips and tricks, a lot of it had to do with organization and planning. But do bear with me. I swear these are real things. So, practical tips to make room for creativity. And by the way, if you do want to make hashtag planning a sexy thing, tag me in. I'm all in. So, we need to prioritize creativity. Now, oftentimes we do things within the space we allow ourselves to do it in, right? We give ourselves 30 minutes to do something. A lot of the time we can't do it in that space. And so at the same time, why aren't we prioritizing creativity before the things that we need to get done? Creativity allows us to solve problems, and problem solving is all we seem to do as marketers. So I encourage you all to prioritize creativity, bake it into your project planning, right? Allow for space for um, creative problem solving to happen. So that leads me to creating a dedicated space. That's a lot of create and creativity there, but bear with me, folks. So, a dedicated space. So, for a lot of us, and I'm assuming that you watching at home are probably working remotely or in a hybrid situation, or even for the folks working on site, it can feel a bit difficult to think, uh, where can I be creative? Or maybe it's not even a thought you're having at all. And I would encourage you to set up a situation for yourself that you can feel creative in, right? Think about when you feel most in the zone. Is it when you're listening to a particular type of music? Is it when you are, gosh, I don't know, wearing something specific? Try and replicate that and assign meaning to it that this is your dedicated creative space. So, yes, lots of things around creating spaces and prioritizing creativity already. Now, I really love this tip, which is embracing mindfulness in the workplace. Oftentimes, when people talk about mindfulness, it feels like a very individual thing just for you that you maybe do at home or outside of work. But I would really love for you watching to embrace it in your workday. Have a sense of intentionality about how you approach things. Have that mindfulness practice with your work. And so, if that means blocking out 5-10 minutes before your meetings to just breathe, um, debrief, to quickly jot down some things if your mind's getting a bit too crowded, because ultimately what that means, it frees up your mind and it enables you to be more creative. So embrace that mindfulness, be very intentional with the activities you're doing. Of course, limit distractions and set boundaries. So we all kind of know this, right? It's easy to get distracted. A notification here, a ding there, an email I have to reply back to, but all of this is just basically pulling you in different spaces. And for creativity to happen, you need to kind of get in the zone, get in a flow state. So make sure that when you are in your dedicated creative space, which you are definitely going to make, switch off all distractions, set that time for yourself to be doing creative work, and allow yourself that quiet, that peace. And also, when I say set boundaries, make sure you're taking breaks. Make sure you're having lunch. Make sure you're finishing work at a sensible time. Because if you're not, you're really not working at your best, right? Our bodies need to rest. And finally, collaborate and seek inspiration. Lean on those online communities. Talk to your peers. Bounce ideas off them. So, my final point is about the virtuous cycle of creativity. We start with creative problem solving, giving us that space. Then that leads to optimized processes, which leads to innovative results. Of course, freeing up more resources and then going back to creative problem solving again. This is why it's so important for marketers to have creativity in their lives in their workspace. So that's it for me. That's how I think you can uh, make more time for creativity. Thanks for watching. You can find my website at najmaslam.com and please get in touch on LinkedIn. I would love to talk to you about creativity, marketing, or just about anything else. Bye.